Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I sure missed a lot of you at the class. We really had a lot of fun. And I'm coming through you. I lost a lot of weight. I've been growing my hair, so you can see that I got more hair than I really need. So now I need an herbal formula to take off some of this hair. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And Joni, you are something else. Look at this bear. I am familiar with the teddy bear, and I tell you, it's such a sweet thing you did. My heart, I love you so much. Thank you. And all your gifts. Got a little fairy nectar in a pouch. I got all kinds of fruits. Thank you so much for all your gifts and love. And I return it 1,000,000 times full in my love and my help with you guys in every way possible. So thank you so much for all of that. This is my bear man. Looks like you're growing hair all over the place, son. Thank you so much, Joni. Thank you so much.
Is that nice?
It's a mascot.
I love it.
We now have a mascot. Want another grape? Oh.
I'll sit next to you and feed him.
You feed him, Drew, while we're recording this. This is going to be kind of a two-parter. I wanted to address some of these questions because I'm a little far behind from the class. You know, when I do the week of class, I'm behind probably 2 weeks. It's just all the work and everything involved, and really did have a good time. Thank you all so much. I hope you liked the place. You all got to enjoy Siesta Key Beach, which is some of the finest sand in the world, made Travel Channel's favorite beaches for years. So I sure did miss you guys. I hope you're all doing well. I know there's some of you are struggling, and I do want to point some attention to one in particular who's been making some comments, and I just wanted to get back with her, but I've been so busy. It's been tough, you know, trying to keep up sometimes, but let's talk about some of these things, and then I want to do a video. Check, you know, okay, because I want to cut this, and then I want to go to these.
15 or 20?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, man. Maybe even a half hour.
Okay.
I want to cut a video this morning on spirituality versus academics. Now, I already talked about it at the class, but I do want to give another one on the YouTube because it's real important that you feel good about yourselves and understand the trap, one of the biggest traps that faces man, and that's academics. So I did want to get to some questions first, and then we'll talk about that in another video here. One of the individuals out there, I don't know if her thing is in here, is her lymph nodes are hard and her cancer markers are going up. You know, I think that a lot of you, especially those helping others, are awakening up to how serious man's problems are. And when you see me ranting and raving about the medical field and all that, there's really just cause for that. And it is just a modality that must drastically change. And this whole thing about healthcare and everything else will change with it. But we are awakening up to extreme chronic problems. When your lymph nodes are large and hard, that's serious, very serious, because your waste from your cells filter through those lymph nodes on their way to the kidneys. So obviously in our conversations you understand that it is kidney filtration of the lymph system that becomes impaired. And it becomes impaired from these high protein diets man has been on. Even though colon cancer has been linked to these high protein diets for I don't know how long, 100 years, medical doctors haven't been looking at kidneys because of that long ratio between 0.3 and say some labs are ridiculous at 1.50 in creatines. Your creatins are your kidney tissue breakdowns, and you don't want over 0.6, 0.7 at the most, and that already starts to show inflammation. And from 0.7 on, you really start breaking down the kidneys. No longer is it a filtration problem. It is now a kidney breakdown problem because those acids that the kidneys filters are not filtering. And now they're starting to break down the kidneys. Generally, at first, the kidneys filter okay. Some people have minor sediment, color changes. However, As the adrenals go down from this, it takes time, it takes years sometimes. Now in genetics, we're just handing our weaknesses over to our children like candy, like the national debt. Here you go. Sorry, we weren't very smart in the way we did things, so here, the burden's on you. We're doing the same thing in genetics, and they don't get that. And thank you, whoever put that video up for the children and St. Jude's and stuff. I love you all. You know, I don't care what that yields. The bottom line is we are slaughtering our people on our chemical drugs, chemical medications. We're getting them addicted, and then we're throwing them in jail because they're addicted. I mean, it's insane out there, and man has got to wake up to love and God and spirituality soon, or he'll take his own self off the planet. And you know, it's time we just start hugging each other and loving each other. It just, you got to do this. We all are one. There's none of us any higher, and there's none of us any lower. And I'll touch that a little bit in spirituality versus academics, because it has, your knowledge has nothing to do with who you are at all. When you have swollen lymph nodes at heart, you can use castor oil packs, of course, but I suggest also the 3-lung tea. Take the 3-lung tea, that's pleurisy root, that's fenugreek seed, and that is mullein. These 3 herbs will break up hardened masses. And it'll take a while because they're hard. Well, the problem is the inflammation and the acids on the other side of the lymph nodes burning on your cells. That is problematic. And the problem is that your cancer markers can definitely go up in detoxification, no question, because you are getting into tissues and you're moving that lymph. Well, this starts opening all the doors and everything starts opening up. So definitely your cancer markers can go up. You always see a residual kick from chemotherapy and radiation, however, always. So those of you who have had chemo or radiation, don't get upset if your cancer markers, no matter what they are, the PSAs, the CA25, 27, the 27, 29, the 19-9s, the 15-9, on and on, doesn't matter. You see them go up, you either, one, got a residual kick from chemo or radiation, which is just what that latest report on chemo, remember we talked about that the other day? This judges and lawyers can hold this report, this scientific study, and say, you wanted studies? Now you got one up your butt. And this one says that if you give chemo, really, manslaughter would be a good word that could come into play here, because you can't justify killing 94% of the people that come to you for 6% survival rate for only 5 years. That's all insanity thinking. That's all fear-based, hope-based, carrot in front of the nose syndrome, that sort of thing. That kind of consciousness is why genetics is where it's at. So we need to change that drastically, and especially when it comes to the kids. You've got to regenerate your kids, no question about it. So remember, acids from cell waste, from cell metabolism and respiration, just cell activity, even the parasitic action within this creates waste. So you've got these wastes at the cellular level that must be discarded, and they're acids. To sit there and think that your acids from all your body is going to be broken down to base and shoved into the venous system is insanity, one of their biggest downfalls that they have, and massage ball right into it. Second of all, remember, from the cells, these acids are about 3 pH, must move through the lymph nodes so bacteria can break these 3 pH Coca-Cola acids down to about 6. You don't want 3 pH to hit your kidneys. 3 pH acid hits your kidneys, you're going to go down on your knees, and you think UTI, most UTIs probably are around 5. Can you imagine? 200 times hotter? Because 3 is 200 times hotter than 5. So this is a real problem, a serious problem. And then the lymph nodes are backed up from the kidney failure, and these lymph nodes are hard as a rock. That's a problem. And yes, on the other side, if you have a tumor on the other side, you have cells breaking down. If you can't get to that, you can't stop what's going on. See how important that is? You can't magically eat a few raw fruits and vegetables and think you're getting it. Those that are fairly healthy and stuff, perfect. But we're not talking about this. This site isn't about just being a raw foodist and eating juices when you want and everything like that. Have fun. That's the way it's done. This is a much more serious and deep problem. And without our herbs, I don't know how man's going to do it, because raw foods doesn't do it enough. Most of you have already wrote in with that. You've already seen that. It makes you feel better, and it helps because it is anti-inflammatory. No question. It's base chemistry. However, when you've got miles of lymph that's been acidic for years, remember, acids create an anionic environment. A coagulated environment. It's all about variances of pHs. Remember that. At estrogen pH, it really keeps fluids moving well. You notice that women with a low estrogen in the adrenals, you get vaginal dryness, because acids stimulate and move things, no question, but it is about pH variances affecting zeta potentials and cations and everything else. And what they're not getting is that, yes, base metals, anionic, become cations. Absolutely. That's a whole move of chemistry, buffering and moving and breaking down. That's a whole thing of chemistry. So it's important for you poor people that are suffering out there with these lymph nodes and stuff, get those kind of herbs and put a poultice on that, use the castor oil packs, hit the kidneys. If you have to and you feel like that you're just not getting on the other side of that to correct the problem, then by all means, hit those kidneys and adrenals harder. If you hit the lymph system too hard, you could hurt your kidneys. And you might have to meter how you fill your kidneys with how many lymphatic formulas you have. Try the immune system. But you cannot break up hard rocks like that. Not going to happen. And this is why I'm adamant about this, and so important that you all learn. Because some of you are waking up in very serious conditions. You're young. Your 30s, and it's disgusting. We have a beautiful lady passing now at 30, 2 kids. Makes you want to vomit. If they knew they had hope years and years ago, they wouldn't be where they are. But we've infiltrated this ridiculous nonsense about academics and the medical profession that everybody thinks unless you're an academically read person, you don't know crap. And the opposite is true. The opposite is true. See, and we have to wake up to these things. The more you know, the stupider you get. You ever notice that? The more you start to discover and you look into life and you tear it apart, the more you realize you don't know anything. That it all is already working. All we have to do is observe the working. But no, that's the thing. I don't want to get into the academics too much right now. I want to save it for the other. So those that are having these troubles, I don't know what to tell you. Adrenals control kidneys. You might try the pituitary and hit a glandular and hit the pituitary real gentle. We'll say 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, because the pituitary also controls kidney and adrenal function as well. This is more about neurotransmitters, probably of dopamine and acetylcholine more than anything else, but also sodium potassium balances, blah, 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 blah. So it just goes on and on and on. The best thing you can do is let nature bring your body into a homeostasis, not man. Man can't do that. And there is no true homeostasis, but there is a semblance of balance. And that's what we have to achieve, a semblance of balance. So don't get upset. No one. Just tear into it. Keep tearing into it. It takes a while. And sometimes cancer markers are up for no reason, and people are freaking out for no reason. But if the lymph nodes are real hard, that is scary. So you just have to keep working them down and trying to soften them. At the same time, the kidneys must filter down below, or those lymph nodes can't go anywhere. That's just the problem. And tumors will form on the other side, acting like lymph nodes. So this is what the game is here. And once we learn it, don't get upset. You're awakening to your body and what little we know. That's why I say you guys are going to take this a lot farther than I am. And God bless you, and do that. That's what we're supposed to be doing as civilized humans, is passing it on to other people that use academics maybe more, or involved in research more. Absolutely. But we have to change the focus of what we're doing, just like we're doing in the present. We have to change, regardless whether you like someone or not. The best thing I heard was Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's the best thing I heard the other night. Doesn't quite get it like Ron Paul does. I'm a 25-year-old male. I've had this major thing. These are skin pustules on the skin since I was about 15 years old. The doctors and dermatologists, there's another good group of people, said that this condition would resolve itself on its own. Well, of course, most people that have childhood acne, as they get moving and working harder in life and things go on, they sometimes clear. But as you've seen, there's a lot of people here with cystic skin problems, eczema. I haven't heard a lot of you talk about psoriasis yet. That's a big one out there, psoriasis. And you can see Shannon and James, they're fighting that. That's a high level of toxicity, and when you look in their eyes, you see that high level of toxicity. But remember, these are young people, products of my generation, certainly, and my father's generation, and so on back. We didn't know. We know now, and we can't keep hiding things because we fear problems in economics. Got to work this thing out, no matter how we all do it. So, it hasn't resolved, obviously. I've tried everything from burning the pustules off of my skin to apple cider vinegar to tea tree oil, etc. Well, you're trying to treat your problem, man. Who is this? Marcus. You're trying to treat your problem. And treating, notice this, guys, that treating never cures. It's insane. You got to go. We're too far advanced to be that ignorant anymore and think treatment. We have to think cause. Because it's people just like this man here. He's been dealing with these pustules or acid pustules for how long? Since he was young. His lymph system has been backed up that long, and this is backed up subcutaneously. That's in around the skin and the lymph nodes. So you know his lymph nodes are backed up here. So the same thing, Marcus. You really got to get a hold of your kidneys and adrenals and get yourself filtering. Clean up your bowels. Always clean up the GI tract. As you saw in class, guys, how important that is. So you really have to clean that up. You got to get into the kidneys and the adrenals and get the adrenals to turn the kidneys back on and start filtering, and all that will clean out of you and you won't have them anymore. If you keep treating them, as you see, you're not successful because you're not dealing in what's under the skin, what's coming out of you. Why? Remember, the skin is an eliminative organ, your largest eliminative organ. So when you see anything on the skin, it's about elimination. But elimination of what? Well, toxins that fly in from Moose Jaw, Alaska, or what could we be eliminating? Cellular waste. If I talk a little funny, it's because I've had 3 implants put in yesterday evening. Think I'm doing pretty good for having surgery yesterday evening, don't you think? 3 hours in the chair? Okay. Fruit diet. I've been on it for about a month, and I've noticed that a cyst that I have on the inside of my right forearm has went down. He's been on fruit. His cyst went down. Good, man. Good. But see, also burning sensations. Burning. Acids. Burning is acids. And so alkalis can burn way up there too. But this is acids. No STD present from my urine has resolved. The pustules seem to be resolving quicker than they used to, but are still coming. We'll get on some herbs, bro. Somebody told him it was a potassium deficiency. Excuse me while I puke. I mean, these are why no one's getting well. We're playing this deficiency crap and not focusing on the adrenal glands, and why the kidneys and the adrenals, why you're not balancing your potassium, why you have too much or not enough, why do you have too much minerals or not enough minerals, what's going on in chemistry? Well, you have to understand the adrenals, you have to study a little about chemistry, but you'll never find the answer because academics still hasn't got a clue. You're still going, oh, you can't have it high because this will happen. Well, yeah, that's true in the right situation. So Marcus, take on, man, and detox your lymph system, and you'll have it all gone. Your cyst is already going down. Oh, that'll go away for once in your life. You're 25. Remember what it means if you don't. Just remember what it means if you don't. Because these are acids. And acids, just keep looking at all the people on Facebook and YouTube here that are suffering badly. And they're just a fraction of the people that are. And that's why I love you all. You all are the light. You maintain the light. Do not get trapped with academics. I'll be there in a minute on that one. Jocelyn here. Remember me? Flaming hot Cheeto fingers. Oh, that's funny. Thank you so much, my friend there. Answer my questions. You're the man. Thanks, sweetheart. I love you, man. Well, my tongue is consistently changing every day. Wow. It was all brown in the back. Now it's almost completely green. Well, you're coming down. You're coming down. I mean, that's what detox is, honey. You're doing a good job here. Brown, pretty toxic, isn't it? Brown. Some people get black on the tongue, like black throwing up. Nasty. But this just shows you the level of toxemia and why we are having the problems we're having at the cellular level. It is not... it's not academics, it's not diseases, it has nothing to do with this. This is just plain, simple chemistry, although that can be considered academics, I suppose. I have a small dark spot on the right back of my tongue. Well, keep going until that dark spot gets off of there, dear. You want to clean that right out, keep moving that lymph. You don't want any dark spots on the tongue, anything, or little white spots either. Been happening for about a month now. Today is the end of the day 6 of the Master Cleanse. Woohoo! This is probably day 10 or 12 because this is October 2nd. Not doing the saltwater flush or the laxative tea. Good. Don't recommend it. But I am having diarrhea a little. Is this normal? Yeah, I mean, some people go on fruits. Man, the body cuts loose and they start moving their bowels like crazy and then they freak out and it's like, fruits cleanses. Fruits gets things moving. Haven't you noticed? But I am having diarrhea. Okay, I want to stay on this cleanse until my tongue is back to normal. I would suggest that. Do you think this is safe? Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, some of our folks have been up to 40-some days on lemons. Past kicked my butt. I was 29. Mutt Lang was 27. I don't know about Eileen. Some of these guys have gone way out. Some of you guys have tore it up into 30 days and stuff. One guy here did 40-some days here, and that's amazing. So, no. Can the cleanse be done without the maple syrup? Absolutely. I don't put, if I do that, I never use much a sweetener at all. And if I do, it's agave or something. But and I don't mind honey in it either. Just because Stanley Burroughs thought it was a diabetic issue. Nah. No, I would definitely use honey too. But you don't need to even do any of that. If you get good lemons, that are ripe, you might not need that. Since going completely raw and starting your herbs, I haven't had my period in 2 months. Maybe pituitary. See, you guys are getting real smart. Now, that's what I love about you. You guys are going to get so friggin' smart. This is good stuff. I love this. And somebody could say this is academics. You could argue that. But I'm talking about real intellectual academics. Where your pursuit is the mind. Maybe pituitary is right. Now, sometimes when you go on these programs, there's no question that glands sometimes sit back and some things, the periods stop. Absolutely. They'll start back up, though. You could use the pituitary or you could use the female reproductive formula. It's a strengthener of the uterus, ovaries, and pituitary. So I'd probably use the female reproductive for a little while. And if that turns it on, you know it was a pituitary. And if that doesn't seem to, then probably more pituitary needs a little more of a pituitary hit, like a glandular. I'm always very normal every month up until now. Well, it could just be the the rechanging and detoxifying of the body. Yeah. What loose herbs could I buy for my pituitary? Yeah, do the loose herbs. Well, buy the female reproductive and open them up. Well, I don't know if I have that in capsules. If I do, you can open the capsules up. If not, get chase tree berry. You can get chase tree berry herb. You can add other female herbs, but I suggest this is the pituitary too. Don't have much more money for your formulas, unfortunately. Well, buy some bulk, or just buy the female reproductive. Just buy one formula and see if that'll help you, dear. Or get chase tree in the bulk. Bulk herbs are so much cheaper, no question. But try. I can't tell you because I don't want to slander anybody. But also, I'm taking kidney and bladder capsules, kidney and bladder tincture, upper circulation, lymphatic system 1, parasite M, endocrine gland, bowel and stomach 1. Perfect choice. Once you're done with the parasite M, you can set that to the side and do the female reproductive. You could even set the endocrine gland. Now, there are herbs, chase trees in there for the pituitary. You might need a little more of a pituitary hit, but let's just see. I'd go from the endocrine to the female reproductive, and then we can go from there. I know I need to filter my kidneys, and I'm still not seeing sediment. And I can't tell you guys, you know as much as I do about it right now, be honest with you. Keep in mind that the world isn't looking at this like we are, and that's their problem. They're not looking at proper elimination of waste. And this is as important as getting nutrition to cells. Nutrition is the easiest part. There shouldn't be a school on it whatsoever. You guys are a better school on nutrition than anybody out there. You know, when you power pack juices and superfood blends and you eat your fruits and the berries and the melons, there is no more nutrition out there. You know, there is none. You can suck down royal jelly forever, but I'm saying there's just no more nutrition. And you still have your cancers because the problem isn't in the blood. Now, the blood was the pathway initially with the high proteins and stuff, no question, but no longer. The lymph has taken over as the master issue, and very serious master issue there. So thanks a lot, guys. This is Stephen Klug. I am 25 years old. Well, there was a couple 25-year-olds. You guys, I'm proud of you guys for getting into health at this age. I really am. I was 20, 21. You guys, I'm real proud of you. Keep it up and learn all you can. We don't have all the answers always, but we're sure trying. And with all of our helps together, we can really change this planet. And at least a little bit. This is a male pattern baldness now for about 6 to 7 years. Now, we know what takes off hair. It is touted that low thyroid can do that, but I tell you more than anything, acids, acids, acids. So this is another problem going back to the lymphatic system. That's why if you used upper circulation, do you guys see that on the news the other day? It wasn't on the news, I guess it was an infomercial where they rubbed this thing on the head and you saw hair kind of growing. But what was funny is these people had balding up here and they didn't get hair there for them. I was going, what's going on? But anyway, if you want to grow real nice new hair, follow some of the YouTubers there, get on the upper circulation. At the same time, remember causative factors and go after that lymph system. And at 25, you know you're in line with the kidney and adrenals. You know that. Just assume it and you'll be good. He's now reached a point where he's become depressed. Now, don't be depressed. You know, it was on the news last night about Bruce Willis and all these people that are bald, that's status quo now, that people look up to bald people with respect and everything, so everybody's now going bald. So don't feel bad. Don't get depressed. If you are getting depressed unnaturally, that would be the parathyroid gland, and that would just be another clue that this is all lymphatics. When you start suppressing thyroid and parathyroid, so just keep that in mind. That if you're feeling depressed, and it's not just from the baldness, but don't let that depress you. Don't let your human body ever depress you. Look at Honey Boo Boo's mom. She's not too depressed with her body, so you shouldn't be depressed with your body, but you always should seek health and wellness. That, I think, should be a given. If our schools teach any academics, which you have to have some, of course, you got to be able to talk and communicate and add and subtract. But I'm talking about academics like pharmaceuticals and medical, where they spend all these years. An osteopathic endocrinologist tell me he'd been to school 15 years. That poor dude didn't know how to cure anything. In 15 years of his life, and how much did he buy his degree for? Oh, buy his degree. We'll talk about that in a minute. Buying your degrees. It has been getting progressively worse in recent years. I've had it now reach a point where and it changed my daily life drastically, as I now wear a cap daily and avoid activities where I have to remove my hat. Oh man, Stephen, drop the ego, bro. It doesn't matter. You're probably a really good-looking dude. But get your hair back. Understand what's causing it, my friend, and get that hair to grow back. Get that upper circulation and start drinking it. And at the same time, start moving your lymph system and get that back. It has hindered in my career as I avoid jobs where I can't wear a hat. Well, the thing is, man, it's in to be bald. Just keep them in, shave the rest of it off, and then wait till the rest of it all grows out together. You just get that to grow back, my friend. You will. I discovered Dan the Man, and he inspired me to move towards a raw vegan diet. Although I adopted about an 80% raw diet, I am unable to get 100%. Well, 80% is good, but use upper circulation then, and use the herbs to help clean your lymph system. That's okay. But keep that 80% mainly fruit with very little vegetables, and only have your 20% steamed vegetables, not anything outside of fruits and vegetables. Stay within that realm. Dip the proteins, get rid of those things, or depression might be your world, and that's not fun. I have been able to get, okay, I have seen you talk about hair loss before, but I would like some more in-depth advice on as to how I can reverse the problem and get to my hair and health back. I know you have said to focus on the lymphatic system for such a problem. What herbs, capsules do you recommend from God's herbs? There are several lymphatic ones, and I am sure that it would be the best. Also, what type of raw diet would I... Okay. All right, Steve, listen. Basically, every one of you can follow this protocol because we're going to be even more consistent. We're even going to be better. We're going to show the world even better things. That we can take each and every person and treat them the same in terms of their walk to Wellville and get them well no matter what. Now, there are some cases where we're going to do some sidetracks and we're going to maybe use more lymphatics or we're going to use lungs or something else. But the basic core of your detoxification should always include at least one, if not two, kidney formulas. That's essential. That's for all of us. One, if not two, kidney formulas. You don't want just diuretics. You want kidney regenerative formulas. That's more my number one. Now, I've got six lymphatic formulas out now. Now, 5 of them, or 4 of them are still being made, so hang tight. It's still going to be a couple months. We're having a major issue with herb companies that make herbs now. There's only a few around, and you know, we're having problems. And so when Michael sold Blessed Herbs, our problems really began, and that was a bad situation that he did to us, and didn't even let us know. So it really hurt us bad, and we're just now recouping from it. Plus, we're growing real good, and that's helpful because now we're able to help more people, more out the world, more this, and we're helping as fast as we can, guys. I'm telling you. But boy, we're doing a good job out there. Each and every one of you are doing a fantastic job at helping change the world. It's amazing. I love every one of you, and it's incredible. Now, you have to know that the adrenal glands actually sit on top of the kidneys and control the kidneys. Your adrenal glands are everything to you. Every gland you have is important, but you can remove a thyroid, but removing adrenal glands is not going to be so good. There's your autonomic nervous system. There's neurotransmitters. There's over 50 steroids. The bulk of your minerals are utilized in the adrenals. Your body's shape is determined by the adrenals. Sugar metabolism is shaped by the adrenals. And, of course, the autonomic nervous system, the major nervous system of the human body. We know the CNS, of course, sits on the top. But the autonomic moves and runs everything. So very important. Goes right back, parasympathetic to the back of the head, sympathetic to the adrenals, all comes into ganglions down the stomach. That's when you have stomach problems, you have breathing problems. It goes on and on and on down those ways. So just sit and we have the charts at school and stuff. You can review, you can buy charts, you can look at books, and you play and you grow. You grow in your knowledge. The core is you already know how to detoxify yourself. Detoxification is simple, but an art, because there's sometimes you've got to hold back, you got to go forward, you got to understand healing crisis, first aid for healing crisis. So it's just, and it's not that difficult though. It really is not. And it's fun because it's foods. And it's also herbs. And herbs can be fun to research and have fun with because they're so good for so many things. The fear of herbs are those that fear God because they're criminals. People that fear God have something to hide, let me tell you, because there's no reason you would hide from yourself, is there? Now, Steve, go after that. You want to get a bowel formula. I would always recommend Lymphatic 1 capsules to get in the rim. And I want you guys to know I have eight lymphatic capsules coming, 4 lymph nodes and 4 lymphatics. And I'm going to start using 1 lymphatic and 1 lymph node each month. And so we have enough to take us down to about 8 months. And we can play. We have plenty of kidney formulas. We have plenty of lymphatic formulas because this is the name of the game. And I keep seeking stronger, better formulas because who knows, if we mix it a little bit there, we might see a little more filtration a little sooner. And then I've got to think about the sulfurs. I got to find some herbs for sulfurs, like we're experimenting with asparagus root. But it takes an X amount of time when we create a formula. I used to be able to create a formula, have it to you in about 2 months at the quickest. And that was Blessed Herbs because they were doing their own at the time, sending out some. Now, it just seems to take half a year, and that shows how incompetent this herb company that bought Blessed Herbs are. And just what big corporations are doing to the people. People want to get money, we want to buy corporations, but what they don't understand, when they're buying things that are essential for people's wellness and they're throwing it into a corporate thinking, it is not about anything but the money. So we're giving them a little show that it is more than the money. So there's things that are going on. So going that way, my friend, get your adrenals, kidneys, lymphatics. Go lymphatic 4 liquid would be a good one for you, or lymph node 2 liquid with your lymphatic 1 capsules. Definitely I would do glandular, pure adrenals. That's a New Zealand 200. And you tell them I told you can call them and get them here. But I would go that way, Steve, and listen to the other videos as we go on down that line, my friend. This is Brenda. She's from Port Charlotte here. Honey, you should just stop in and say hi, dear one. She's 28 years old. She has 2 little boys, age 6s and 2. For the past 6 to 7 months now, I have been having awful symptoms that have really taken over my life. Back in March, I got the flu really bad, was sick for about a week with that. I believe that I got pretty dehydrated, but never went to the doctor. Sounds like it. You can get real dehydrated real easy because you don't feel like eating and things when you get sick like that. A week after I got better with the flu, I woke up one morning with extreme brain fog. Vision was weird, extremely tired all the time. I couldn't drive as I couldn't think properly. I was able to think about where I wanted to go, but couldn't get together how to get there. Well, pretty interesting. She had a very nervous feeling, and my balance was off. Well, you were definitely going with stuff in the brain here, because the balance, remembers, the cerebellum. So that's the first clue that you were having some type of spastic problem, some type of lymphatic problem. Well, the cold and flu. And it could be that you started breaking up your sinuses, and then suddenly it didn't go anywhere. You didn't take it through. You didn't get on the raw, maybe you did, I don't know, but you didn't get in and make that thing go and work for you. And that's the problem. Even though we let it run our courses, sometimes we're eating foods that won't help you to detoxify or anything else. When that happens, when you get a cold or flu-like symptom, pop yourself on the fruits and let that take off on you, because you'll detox more in the body's purging itself than you will in waiting for a healing crisis. Now, this is a healing crisis, and your body puts yourself in it. You are the culturing medium of anything external that your body wasn't used to. Any viral, any bacterial, they're not bad. It's just that your body had a response. Well, a purging response is perfect, because it purges the lymph and everything else. Colds and flus, you get your chills, your fevers, you start sweating from what? The largest eliminative organ, which is what? Oh, the skin. There you go. So just remember that. So you really have to have them. This sounds like you got some things moving, but kind of locked them right there. And now you're starting to really have problems with that. You got to go back and try to instigate another one, dear. But this time, get your adrenal gland formula, get a kidney or 2 formula, get you a lymphatic or 2 formula, get in there. And I would also deworm myself just for the fun of it. Do parasite M&G for a month or a couple of weeks anyway, and see if you got worms in there just for the outside thing of it. But really, this sounds like you started to break up lymph and it just hung there, and now all that inflammation, all that just kind of stuck, and it affected your sensory perceptions, your motor perceptions were okay. So this is what it's all brain cell, all lymphatics though. It wasn't a blood problem, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't been able to write this. Exercise would always make my symptoms much worse. Exercise would always make my symptoms worse. I am a strong proponent of working hard, exercising if you like, but not when your kidneys aren't filtering well. That exacerbates the problem. Why? Obviously, you're not filtering your acids, and you're creating a lot more. So you never put heat against acids. You just never do that. And you saw it on the news last night where all these people got meningitis and all these people are dying. But did you notice, they call it a cortisol type, a steroid, but did you notice what family it was from? The last 2 names of it was methyl acetate. Ring a bell? Acetate injected into the spinal column. Okay, that's where medical thinking is at. That's where medical thinking is at. Thank God most emergency rooms are above that thinking. I hope. I don't know. I didn't get deep into their thinking. But methyl acetate. Interesting. Interesting to inject acetate or a form of acetate into your cells. That's what ladies use to take the fingernail polish off their fingernails, if you hadn't noticed. So I'm just saying, you know, injecting any chemical like that into the human body, that's and they're saying meningitis, that's inflammation, right, of the brain. But what causes inflammation? What's your main inflammatory response to? Protein. Better word, acids. These guys, horrible, horrible. Get your kidneys filtering, dear one, and then you can exercise and feel good about exercising, because I feel better after I work out. Always, I work this stuff out of me. But I filter. I was on a birth control pill at the time that I was not agreeing with me. I was having several periods a month. Holy crap. So this is estrogen dominance, honey. And that can lead to nothing good, because along with a lymph system that's backed up and you're having too much estrogen, it's just acid on top of acid on top of acid. And there's, you know, you see what happens with chemotherapy. You give acid on top of an already acid condition, 94% of the people die, 6% live for up to 5 years. That's your George Burns people. That's what they're saying. I'm just repeating what's on the news and what's on the films and what the FDA said. I'm just repeating that. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just repeating what I'm hearing from the news and the FDA and things like this. I guess if we don't trust them, it could be different. But I just happen to watch that most people I see go into chemo, even that leave me and go in fear and go to the chemo, they don't come back. I haven't had any. I think one came back from radiation, and we kept hitting him, and he survived. But I don't know. I called my OGBYN. She said that the birth control pill would not cause these symptoms, wouldn't cause multiple periods a month. She doesn't know what she's talking about. This is an estrogenic type of formula. It would definitely cause you to bleed like this. If she doesn't know that, why is she an OBGYN? I don't understand that. You give a woman estrogen, she's going to bleed. And she already has a problem. So I would say that this is tied to your head, sweetheart. This is tied to your pituitary gland. See that? And that by giving you more estrogen, it's just you're already estrogenic. So you really got to get in the head and detoxify this. Remember, you got to clean up the bowels first to get to the head, and you got to get the kidneys and adrenals online. Everybody's got to do the same thing. We're a species. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all God. From that, getting a higher perspective, we're all God. So you know, we have to help each other, or not. Oh, they give her all kinds of stuff. I went to my medical doctor. He ran some regular blood tests on me. Everything came back normal, expected for except for inflammatory level. Hello. C-reactive protein, all this stuff. Listen, this is all about acidosis. Don't make it complicated. Go right to the source. This is all about acidosis. They gave her some kind of, like a Klonopin for depression and anxiety. I filled the prescription and didn't take it right away. I heard from doing research, About a week later, she did take it, gave up and took it, still having the symptoms. I went to a lady that does electrodermal screening. This was pretty expensive. You know, this is sad. She spent a lot of money for electrodermal screening. It did tell her adrenals were down, and it's sad she had to spend all that money to tell her what was obvious. See, so we really need to educate everybody, because this poor girl spent a lot of money. She's a mother of 2 babies. She spent a lot of money just to say, hey, your adrenals are down. Okay, can you help me fix them? Well, she went to a chiropractor here, I think. A kinesiologist, chiropractor in town. Good choice. He told me that my adrenals are in bad shape, and my thyroid, he's probably right on, and probably keep on working up. Keep on working up from the thyroid. You got the parathyroid, keep on working up. Keep on working up. Pituitary. And if you don't sleep well, your pineal. And so, you remember, that's all tied to the brain fog, the equilibrium, the cerebellum, the lymph, and the head, honey. I want to feel better more than anything. Yeah, well, you got my view, sweetheart. Just stop in. You're in Port Charlotte, dear. I'm holding up. Am I holding up? I want to do this. We're going to get some eyes here, but I'm doing my best to help you, but I don't want to do too many more of them, because I want you to do your own. So I've got a bunch of eyes. I don't know when we're going to do it. I got to get this taken care of first a little bit. Too much pain to talk too long. Well, it's not in real pain right now. I do pretty good with that. But I got so much here, my God, guys. I got so much to talk to you about. I'm going to try to have Drew leave this on. Maybe I can come back in the tomorrow or Sunday or next week. I took next week off as a vacation, but I think I'll use part of it and come in here and do some videos for you and catch up with you. Because I know you guys are hurting and you need to get some of this information as quick as possible. But just remember, if you need information real bad, real quick, you call. I know we're busy and I know the phones are busy and sometimes you have to wait, and I apologize for that. We're working to rectify that. We're just a small little office here, so hang in there on us, but keep going down your journey because it's well worth it no matter what. Going back to the lady with the hard lymph nodes, what other choice do you have? You can do radiation on those lymph nodes, and that will shrink them down. But remember the studies. Only to explode things and to burn right past them into the chest, into the lungs, into your heart. It ain't worth it, guys. Ain't worth it. I'm telling you, sometimes things just aren't worth the journey going down because there's really no hope at the end of either one of those tunnels. And all the pain and misery and all this fear and all the anxiety and everything else going down that road isn't worth it. It's better to just enjoy your life and hit your body and forget about it. Than to go down a horrible road that rakes all your money where there's no remedy down that road in the first place. If a medical doctor ever told you there was remedy down the road of chemo and radiation, that guy should be sued and gone to jail. Out and out corruption. Lied to you. Lied to you, gave misinformation. I ran into a great attorney in our class this last couple of weeks. Civil rights attorney. And I have a civil rights attorney already in our legal team, and she's a good one, and I'm excited. These civil rights attorneys are our string, our life thread from the Constitution to our sovereignty in this country. So these civil rights attorneys are so vital. I told her I can't even. Told the class, you can't beat these attorneys. Oh, thank you, Mark and Tasha. I love you guys. This is from Canada. I was wondering if you might be able to make a video directed to not just those learning from you, but also other iridologists and naturopaths, which explains and expands on why the kidneys are so important in detox and having seen as they are overlooked far so too often. My reason for asking is that when I talk to other people in the health field, many people look at me like I'm something I suggest something crazy, like hitting the kidneys up right off in the bat. Thanks so much, Doc. All my love to you guys. This is why you should never fear inferior, because you guys are learning things that put you on top. I don't care what their degree is. I don't care how long they've been into school. If they don't learn how the body works on their own thinking. This is why sometimes academics has the other side of stupidity. You lose it. And if you'll notice, a lot of people can't even find the kidney lymph charts. I can just tell you that observation and clinical work over 40 years, I consider the kidneys vital eliminating organs of the lymphatic system, skin being the third kidney and the largest eliminative organ of the body. I consider the kidneys essential to the elimination of cellular waste. I consider the lymph nodes the septic tanks of the human body, and the lymph system is nothing more than a sewer system / immune system. It's easy to understand how it works. It's easy to understand when you understand the immune cells, why there's lymphocytes around the interstitial fluids, which is the lymph fluids, and why there's macrophages in the lymph nodes, why cancer cells are never found in the blood except if their blood cells are found in the lymph nodes. Understanding all that, you start to understand that, and naturopaths have to break away from traditional studies and get with this level. This is true naturopathy with a twist. 40 years of deep detoxification with people and adding botanicals in the advent of cleaning and restoring vitality to the cell and taking it beyond its genetic remembrance. And we can all do that. We've done that here over and over again. And on naturopaths, iridologists, we all need to come together. there's a major rift in iridology, and as long as German iridologists think that eyes don't change and that you're born with indications, then they'll never go anywhere. They'll never become good iridologists. They'll never become good healers because they don't understand. They don't understand the lymph system. They never take people deep in there. I argued with a practitioner in California once. She said, yeah, I deep detoxify. Do you really? Even Jensen, even Dr. Jensen, who was not a raw foodist, who was not a vitalist, could get eyes to change. He was ranting and raving constantly about German iridology. I know firsthand, and we constantly get them to change. We use your eye as an indicator. So we have so much discord that some of this stuff you have to drop, because we're not dropping ours, because we prove ours. We prove it over and over and over again. And actually, you prove it. And that's the neat thing. And we have a great team around the world here, everywhere from Israel to Romania, to Canada, to Greece and Ireland. All around the world, we have great healers, great people like yourselves everywhere. New Zealand, Switzerland, France. I love you all, guys. And we are here to change this world, and please do. If those of you don't get with it, okay. You know, there's plenty of other healers out there, I suppose. But you see what this level has done. And we need to come together and create another level of healing on this planet. And it is called detoxification with a twist. We're cleaning and rebuilding. We're cleaning and strengthening the human body. As simplistic as that is, as powerful as that is. And those of you that have found yourself in advanced states, relax. Please don't freak out. Get more in touch with who you are. Let your body be external to you. Get away from your body suffering and get into your freedom and your feeling of goodness behind the body, away from the body, and let that body heal up a little bit. You got to work on the bodies and get them well. Some of you with the hardened lymph nodes and things like that, you can't panic. Somebody didn't tell you the truth, and you've come a long way, and now you're woken up to very hard lymph nodes. You got to let them try to break loose, because remember, if you can't break lymph nodes loose, the cells on the other side are not going to get better. And it's not our plan or anybody else's plan. It's common sense. You got a septic system there. And this is all we're suffering with, is sewage backing up. Acid sewage backing up, which causes the predominance of inflammation. And that's a simple, well, see, I could teach you that in 5 days. If you wanted to go a month to school, okay. So, within about 3 years, you should be able to have all the knowledge you would need to do anything out there in the world in terms of healing people. But I can teach you in 5 days. Oh, we really need actually more than that. Let's say 1 month. And you guys could hear, you might not know all of physiology, you might not know all of anatomy, but get what? Some of you are already suffering with what this lad said. You don't understand the kidney. What, the kidneys? That's it. What? You mean they do something that important? Well, your liver doesn't, see the bad, here we go with the detoxifying organ, the liver. Oh yeah? Well, how does the liver rid the body of acids to the external world? You say it's just like an inward chemistry set, it just rearranges chemistry all the time? Think again. Your urine eliminates acid. And a lot of you guys are seeing that as you get filtration. You're seeing what the kidneys are doing. This is all what we've watched through taking humans down the road to Wellville. This is what we've observed by doing this and what we've come to. So the kidneys are a vital role. Medical doctors, naturopaths, homeopaths, all of you have to understand the role of the kidneys, and this time give them due respect. And also, why is that little gland on top of them? What's that called? Oh, the adrenal gland. So why would that be up there, and what all does that do? You know, these are some of the things that people have to ask themselves and start tearing this apart. And keep it simple. Don't get too complicated about it. But just realize that this is simply about feeding and cleaning 100 trillion cells. And are we effectively doing that? And if we're not, we're going to have symptoms. And it is called dis-ease. And dis-ease occurs when there's an obstruction to the flow of energy, be it blood, be it nerve, or be it lymph. And it doesn't matter what the obstruction is. A protein, an acid, mucus, doesn't matter. Whatever obstructs heavy metals, neurotoxins, excitotoxins, whatever obstructs the flow of energy. Now, Light Ship. I love that name. Light Ship. Good name. Good name. This person loves our videos. Thank you so much, my friend. Good name too, man. I'm 56 years young. I love that already. Know that kind of thinker right there. And I have been interested in health for many, many years. I've learned more from you in one video than in years of research. Well, I appreciate that. I really have tried to condense all these books that have been out there all these years. I read extensively. What you see behind you in this library is a fraction of my consumption of books and knowledge. And I'm still out here teaching, get away from them. I'm out here teaching, free yourself from the mind and academics. My question is that I have one kidney and am concerned about amounts of herbs I can take safely. Would the doses be the same for me? I like this question, and I think this individual raises an interesting question. When there's one kidney, I think one should detox slower. And go slower with that. Definitely use one kidney formula, use one lymphatic formula, and just kind of use the basic kit type of thing, and just kind of maybe use the Fab 4 or 5 for a while until you do see some good sediment. When you see some good sediment, that's going to be really good for you, because you've got to filter both sides of the body. And so having a good thyroid in your case would also be very good, so you can use the skin as an alternative exit. It's not really an alternative one, it's always eliminating waste. Let me see here. I know my adrenal is weak and my parathyroid. Yeah, good. You know, this is what I love about you guys. And if you start tracking and tracing this, you'll start seeing that. We do have a new parathyroid in. Nothing in it but parathyroid. It's only like 10 milligrams, so be a nice little hit there. Matter of fact, this company decided since they like ours, they're going to carry that too. Get away from the other chemistry. Get away and make things simple and pure. Remember, that was Haagen-Dazs, just 4 ingredients or something. Somebody told me that the other day, just 4 ingredients. It's still ice cream, it's still mucus forming, it's still going to congest you, but just 4 ingredients, okay. But what are those 4 ingredients? Yeah, amazing. I know let me see, most likely hosted by this well. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Now, fibromyalgia, remember, if you're diagnosed with fibromyalgia, you can link that with arthritis, you can link that with lupus, you can link that with Lymph, you can link that. It's systemic acidosis, systemic inflammation. Whether it's in the muscles, whether it's in the joints, it doesn't matter. It's still the same system. It's the lymph system. There's no other system in there. You got the lymph system and you got the blood system. Take your pick. And you know it's not in the blood. Common sense will tell you that. Look at these black, dark black ones. Sorry about that. Oh, look at this. She was diagnosed with fibromyalgia after my kidney donation 9 years ago. Look at that. What that's saying to me is that losing that one kidney, somehow, maybe they hooked it up right, or you'd see a little lymphedema already. But fibromyalgia is on that road to lymphedema, because in the sense that's what it is. And so it'd be showing lack of filtration. And you don't know where the kidney came from, the filtration issues of that kidney and the adrenal gland, because nobody talks about the adrenal gland on top of the kidney. And all of this. This is very serious. And the sad thing is that I think we have to save kidneys instead of transplant them. And if you're using the same genetic tree, that's insane. And that's what's going on. And and some people are getting kidneys when they don't need it. You can rebuild kidneys. And I had a young lad in here, 28 years old, creatinine at 28. Extreme. But he did not have deterioration of the kidneys. But he did have deterioration of the adrenal gland. Get this. Probably because I didn't wake up for a few days after my surgery, as I know I was given too much anesthesia. Oh my God, sweetheart. Well, you got to get detoxifying, get all this anesthesia out, get the brain and nerve, bring up your nervous system up, get those adrenals, get that in order, detoxify all this neurotoxicity if you haven't already. Go slower, but definitely shift. This is where I would probably do fruit in the morning, a salad at lunch, and then a little salad at night with some steamed vegetables for about a month. Then I would get rid of the lunch salad, make it a night salad, keep some steamed vegetables, and add fruit in the day. And then little at a time, move yourself deeper and deeper into the world of the raw and the world of the fruits. At the same time, observing my urine, making sure that I'm getting some type of settlement, not just keep working with that in the adrenal glands, and just keep working with that. Don't overpull the lymph system right now. Work on the kidneys and fix that, because this is the problem all along. And you have 2 kidneys, and you have to consider the genetics of the other kidney. I'd definitely like to see your iris. I have been very sensitive to pain, and this surgery just made it more obvious. I always wondered, and if you're sensitive to pain, okay, give me. Sorry about this. Is it still running? Mm-hmm. Good. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I've always been very sensitive to pain, so already there you know your myelin sheaths are weak, and that this is going back to your adrenals. Well, look at this. You had to have a kidney transplant, or did you? You know, they use sometimes numbers. Here's a numbers game again. That's why I love iridology, and they should learn their own science that they discovered, because you can see the kidney if it was the kidney or something else. I don't know. Oh, this goes more. And this surgery just made it more obvious. I always wondered if it had anything to do with being so sick with spinal meningitis as a child. Honey, your lymph system is super backed up, man. You've got to get your lymph system moving, sweetheart. Is this a female? This is, yeah, Ellen, sweetheart. Get your lymph moving. Get that kidney. Go slow and go a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, and then tear it up, honey. Because you need real detox, no question. That's God bless you too. 53-year-old mom looks 33. The stunning results of her wrinkle trick has Botox doctors worried. Oh my God. It's insane out there, in my opinion. It's insane. I'm glad you guys are home and we're all together as one, because this is where sanity is, in my opinion. Of course, I could be insane too. Who knows? Hello. Bartholomew. I don't know how to pronounce your name. When will the raw parathyroid gland be available for purchase? Right now, dear one. So can I take the tinctures at work? Because what would you suggest you do for weeks 5 through 12, where the formulas are predominantly tinctures, or schedules 48 hours on and 96 hours off? Take them to work. Take them to work. All these guys, take them. Take their stuff. Let's see here. I want to. Brian Adams, a good example. He's got it down. Travels the world, takes these tinctures around the world with him. Thanks. Hey, it's the same lady. A-O-I. I love that name. How can we raise our state of consciousness to the highest possible level? You know what I'm going to do? Since I'm a little there right now, I'm going to cut this video and answer that question. And I want to answer her question in a video that is called Spirituality versus Academics. So I will come back this coming week, probably Monday in here, and I will sit down and spend a couple hours with you. So thanks. A lot of you have done real well. I'm real proud of you. It was a joy for those at school. I had a lot of fun. All our classes, I think, are fun. And it's just, we're going to have a level 2 here in April, because we need protocols. If you note, this is all about protocols. What protocols do we use? So level 2 is going to be almost exclusively protocols. So it's just going to be cases. So if you want to come to it, be prepared, because it's going to be cases. What do you do on cases? Bring your own, bring yourself. We did use cases, we used cases at level 1, 2. We use you as an example, and we had a lot of good cases out there. A lot of people come to the class very sick, so a lot of good cases out there. So thank you so much. I love you all. That be strong, be love, be now. And don't let anything disturb your joy and your happiness. And always be love and give love. You know, we're at the point on this planet where we have to go down this pathway. And it's too bad we don't have presidential candidates saying, you know, we have to love each other. We don't have that. It's shock to the world if that happened, that you would have a spiritual person in the seat of power. So anyway, have a great afternoon, and I will be back with you tomorrow. But I'm going to cut this so we can form this new video. And say goodbye. Say bye.